Life often feels like a constant race, with endless tasks and noise pulling our attention in every direction. Many of us rarely pause to notice our own thoughts or reflect on the patterns of our lives. Yet, there is a different kind of energy that emerges when the world slows down around us. Quiet moments, even if tinged with boredom or solitude, can unlock the deepest parts of our imagination. It is in these simple, uninterrupted spaces that creativity begins to flourish. As the quote goes, "The monotony and solitude of a quiet life stimulates the creative mind." Have you ever noticed how your best ideas often arrive when you are alone, perhaps taking a walk or sitting quietly in your room? Why do moments of solitude feel different than moments crowded with activity or constant social interaction? Many of us rush to fill silence with noise, afraid of boredom or of facing our own thoughts. Yet, research in psychology shows that the mind uses these quiet periods to consolidate memories, explore possibilities, and develop insights that are often impossible under constant stimulation. If you pause and reflect, you might notice that some of your most creative solutions, unique ideas, or personal breakthroughs emerged precisely when life felt slow or repetitive. How would your life change if you intentionally embraced monotony and solitude instead of avoiding it? Could boredom actually be the doorway to your next big creative breakthrough? This quote is often attributed to Albert Einstein, though its precise origin is debated. What resonates is the idea that some of the world's greatest minds discovered their insights in quiet, reflective solitude. Think of the number of people who have lived lives deeply intertwined with creative or intellectual pursuit. Only a fraction sought isolation intentionally. In Europe during the 19th and early 20th centuries, many writers, scientists, and artists lived reclusive lives, believing that solitude allowed them to focus deeply on their work. Regions like Germany, France, and the United Kingdom fostered intellectual salons, libraries, and quiet studies where creativity thrived. Einstein, in particular, emphasized imagination as more important than rote knowledge. By embracing calm and monotony rather than constant distraction, these thinkers harnessed a natural rhythm of the mind that allowed their creativity to flourish. Solitude, once seen as a luxury, becomes a tool for profound discovery. Think about the last time you spent a weekend without plans, notifications, or social obligations. Perhaps you found yourself sitting in your backyard, walking alone, or just staring out the window. At first, it might have felt uncomfortable, even boring. But then, ideas began to emerge. Maybe a solution to a problem at work, a new hobby you wanted to explore, or even insights about yourself. Monotony and solitude create a mental space where your mind is free to wander and connect ideas in ways it cannot during constant activity. This is not just idle thinking. It is the brain's natural way of problem solving and innovating. By noticing and appreciating these quiet moments, you can learn to turn routine or even boredom into a fertile ground for creativity, insight, and personal growth. Alfred Hitchcock's Rear Window offers a cinematic illustration of this quote. The protagonist, confined to his apartment due to a broken leg, begins observing the world from his window. At first, he feels trapped, bored, and isolated. Yet, this enforced solitude sparks a surge of creativity, curiosity, and detective work. He notices details he would have missed in a busy social environment. His mind begins to piece together complex patterns, leading to dramatic discoveries. This movie reminds us that physical isolation or monotony does not mean mental stagnation. Instead, it can stimulate the mind to explore observation, imagination, and insight. Just like the character in Rear Window, when life slows down or forces us into quiet, we have an opportunity to observe, reflect, and create in ways that a noisy, distracted world rarely allows. Stephen Pressfield's The War of Art explores how inner resistance blocks creativity. He emphasizes that solitude and disciplined focus are crucial for overcoming this resistance. When we remove ourselves from distractions, we confront our inner fears, self-doubt, and procrastination. This is where true creative work begins. Pressfield describes how consistent, focused effort, often in quiet isolation, leads to breakthroughs in art, writing, and other personal projects. The monotony of regular practice, repetition, and discipline is not boring if we recognize it as fertile ground for innovation. By embracing solitude, as Pressfield advocates, we train ourselves to produce meaningful work despite distractions or fear. The quiet mind is more attentive, more observant, and more capable of generating ideas that resonate deeply with others. This connection between solitude and creation reflects the wisdom captured in the original quote. Interestingly, solitude and monotony do more than spark creativity. They can also improve financial stability. When you spend time reflecting, planning, and developing skills in quiet, undistracted moments, you produce work that is more thoughtful and high quality. Freelancers, entrepreneurs, and creatives often find their best ideas and projects come from focused, solitary sessions. This can translate into meaningful, high-value work that clients or employers notice. Beyond money, the psychological satisfaction of completing work with care and intention increases intrinsic motivation, which often leads to long-term financial and personal growth. By embracing the principles in this quote, you learn to identify your strengths, create innovative solutions, and produce work that not only fulfills you but can also generate stable income. Quiet reflection is not wasted time. It is an investment in creativity, skill, and financial well-being. To use this quote in daily life, start by creating intentional pockets of quiet. Turn off notifications, step away from constant social media, and allow yourself stretches of unstructured time. Embrace routine and even moments of boredom as opportunities for reflection. Journaling, sketching, or simple observation can help you capture the ideas that emerge. Solitude encourages self-awareness, mindfulness, and focus, psychological tools that make your life more fulfilling and meaningful. Over time, you will notice a shift. Small, calm practices can lead to bigger insights, more creative output, and a deeper sense of satisfaction. By choosing quiet and monotony, you train your mind to explore, connect, and innovate, giving you a sense of agency over your thoughts and your life. The essence of this quote reminds us that life does not need to be loud or constantly busy to be meaningful. Solitude and monotony, far from being dull or wasted, are fertile grounds for creativity, insight, and personal growth. They allow the mind to wander freely, form connections, and explore ideas that crowded schedules rarely allow. Movies, books, and historical examples all illustrate this truth, showing how quiet reflection leads to breakthroughs. By intentionally embracing solitude and routine, you can find personal fulfillment, develop your creative potential, and even improve your financial stability. The challenge is to resist the urge to constantly distract yourself and instead sit with your thoughts. How might your life change if you welcomed quiet moments as essential tools for growth, creativity, and meaningful work? Could the stillness you often avoid actually be the key to unlocking your greatest potential?